Hello everyone, my name is Kristen. I'm of course a writer here at Zelda Dungeon, and today I am interviewing the head of Ongaku Overdrive and the man running Power, Wisdom, and Courage, the Zelda Tribute Concert that I will be covering on November 17th. Is that correct?
November 17th at the Abbey.
Yes.
In beautiful downtown Orlando, Florida.
Yes. So of course I'm joined here by Mr. Kent Ward. So thank you for being.
Absolutely.
I'm thanking you for being here, but thank you for letting me into your home. But okay, so for those who don't know, let them know what Ongaku Overdrive is all about, because I know what it's about. Your girlfriend Nancy does, and that's how I got introduced to you and the whole nerd music collective. Let us know, what is Ongaku Overdrive all about?
Alright, so Ongaku is the Japanese word for music, and that's primarily what we're about. So if you're familiar with things like Nerdapalooza or Magfest, we're kind of along those lines, but with a little bit more of otaku flavor. We focus on video game bands, nerdcore, hip-hop, chiptunes, and showcasing prominent acts from those communities several times a year here in Orlando. We've grown a little bit to showcase other things that would be linked, like independent games, artists, vendors, and stuff of that nature.
So, what was your original inspiration for starting the group? I know you've been a fan for a while now, but you only just recently, a few years ago, started up this group. What was the original inspiration for that?
So around this time in 2012, Nerdapalooza was still active in Orlando. That was the big music festival at the time. But for whatever reason, I didn't really seem to have much of an interest in reaching out to the anime community.
Right.
Didn't really see them at Anime Festival Orlando. Didn't even really see them have a presence at MegaCon, which at the time had a prominent anime track. So I was pretty much frustrated by that, and I didn't really talk to anyone on Nerdapalooza staff about it, but I talked to people that were close to them, and the idea was that there was no crossover with nerd music or anime, which I thought was bullcrap, because I'm there at Nerdapalooza, as were other people that were anime fans, but I feel like there could be way more people. So my thought process was, well, if they're not going to try to reach out to the anime community, then I will. So I'm still running this anime club called Propeller Anime out of Orlando, Florida.
Right.
So we're going to do a charity event, a holiday charity party, with a toy drive and all that good stuff. And I thought, you know what, this might be a good idea to start seeing if my theory is true. Because I felt if you put in like really good nerd music acts in front of the anime fans, then they would take to that very well.
So your goal was to branch out to places other venues you've seen before didn't, pretty much.
Yeah, because like Nerdapalooza, they definitely wanted to reach out to gamers and comic book fans and stuff like that. It felt like at the time, this before Crunchyroll took off and anime became really mainstream again, before things like Attack on Titan, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and all that. Like anime was kind of like the redheaded stepchild at this time. But I was like, okay, well if they're not going to reach out to this community that has a lot of people that would be interested, then I'll do it. So we had this charity party, and I invited, if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go for the best of the best, the greatest of all time, which would be Mega Man. Mega Man had a pretty huge following with the Mega Man fan base, and he had a lot of other great video game raps as well, so he was the first headliner we ever had for a show. And when we had the charity party, it was well attended. We raised a lot of money to help out one of the local organizations, and because it was such a huge success, we were like, okay, well there's something here. And that's when we're brainstorming to just have an offshoot, where it's like, okay, we'll have a big music event each year.
Yeah.
And that's how Ongaku Overdrive became born.
That's really cool. I mean, that's really cool. You just pretty much, you wanted something even more for everybody to know about nerd music, and you just made it happen. That's really cool. So, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, having that is great, but did you ever imagine working with the quality of talent that you have worked with? I mean, like you said, you have Mega Ran, you've worked with Professor Shy Guy, you've worked with IQ. There's a few others I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Like Master Sword is going to be at the Power, Wisdom, and Courage event.
Yep.
So what is it like? Have you ever imagined, pretty much, working with this kind of talent?
Well, Mega Ran was different because even though he was like already well established, I've already talked to him over a few shows. I got a little bit comfortable with just communicating with him. And at the time I was working at electronic arts stuff. Like, well, he's doing video game music. I'm working in the video game industry, so we can rap about that, you know. Of course, over time, meeting other acts, like, at first it's a little like weird because like, all right, well, how's Adam Warrock going to be, for example? How are the Megas going to be, or how's Brigade going to be, etc., etc. So some of the bigger acts that I had not worked with yet, I was like concerned about how things were going to go, especially when I was starting out. Nowadays, I'm more comfortable. Everyone in the community knows who I am. They want to come to Orlando and play. I've gotten a lot of offers from different acts to host their shows or put on tour stops for them, or even be on shows like Power, Wisdom, and Courage. So luckily, I've developed great relationships with acts all across the board.
That's really cool. You pretty much just you got the group. I mean, you got the group together. Then you got these people. At first, you were nervous, but then once you got accustomed to it, it was just like second fiddle to you. You call them up. They'll honestly tell you yes or no. It wasn't just like a manager telling you yes or no. It was pretty much just them saying, oh, I can make it, or I don't know. You know, pretty much.
Well, most of the acts are represented by themselves. Sometimes
Right.
you talk to an agent, because there's bigger groups out there like the Proto Men where you have to go to an agent
Right.
to set up things with the Proto Men or someone of that nature. So that becomes a lot more challenging.
That's really cool. I couldn't stand doing that. Like I would have to ask them to ask them to ask them. You've done, like we've just talked about, you've done quite a few number of concerts. You've done the Mega Man anniversary concert.
Yep, that was huge.
You've done the annual Orlando Overdrive thing.
Yep.
What makes the Zelda Tribute Concert, Power, Wisdom, Courage, stand out from the other ones you've done?
Well, the biggest thing is to be a show focused on the Legend of Zelda franchise. This kind of builds off what we learned from doing the Mega Man show last year,
Yeah.
Mega Mania. It was huge because not only do we have like killer musical acts like the Megas and Bit Brigade and Mega Ran and Kadesh Flow, but we also had like a little mini con to go with it as well. So we had artists and vendors and game setups. We had some different competitions as well related to the Mega Man franchise, like speed runs or like for endless attack or whatever it is in Mega Man 10. There's different ways to compete as opposed to playing a fighting game tournament or a shooting tournament. That like it was competitive, but not like in direct one-on-one competition.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's all Mega Man themed, and we got to showcase a lot of cool local art talent in Orlando as well. So it ended up being a massive success because it was kind of like this one-of-a-kind event that you couldn't see anywhere because Mega Man's 30th birthday was coming up, and nobody was doing anything for it, not even Capcom. So it's like, well, we're the only people on the planet that are organizing this party to celebrate Mega Man's 30th birthday. And now with Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time is about to turn 20 years old. Zelda's been around for about 32 years now. And it's pretty special because it's probably the most critically acclaimed of Nintendo's franchises. It's between that and Super Mario, of course. And I've been a lifelong Legend of Zelda fan, so
Right.
there's already a lot of acts out there that I know of that do Legend of Zelda style music. Bit Brigade has a NES speed run for Mega Man 2 last year, and I already know what else they do. And Legend of Zelda is part of their catalog of
Right.
things they can do speedrun concerts for, and it's so like the idea of like, okay, we're gonna go back to the original, and they're gonna play the game on stage. But while they're playing the game on stage, they're gonna play the soundtrack to the game. So we're gonna celebrate the game and the music of the game at the same
It's
time.
like their own unique 4D experience, pretty much.
Yeah.
They play the music while you get to experience them playing the game as well. So it's like that full experience. You're immersed in the concert.
Yeah, so what we're doing now with The Legend of Zelda is expand on the ideas that we did at Mega Mania. What worked, what didn't, what could we do better, but we focus on the Legend of Zelda franchise. We're at a bigger venue now called the Abbey, which is set up kind of looking like a church, but it's got a stage and it's got a bar. So it's like The Legend of Zelda's had churches in the past. You have the Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time, for example. You have the Sanctuary from Link to the Past, so clearly that element's there. So when you walk into this place, you're kind of reminded of those environments. And we're going to do some really cool decor to enhance that experience. So we're going to have a Master Sword set up in the venue inside of a pedestal where people can take photos of them trying to pull out the Master Sword.
Oh, that's really cool.
So that's being worked on right now. It's almost finished. Our guy Derek, our prop guy Derek, doing a tremendous job getting a lot of stuff ready for the show. So there's going to be some cool decor going on that'll add to the Zelda fan experience. Of course, we'll have a great musical lineup. Bit Brigade we mentioned before. We talked about Master Sword making their Florida debut. I watched them at MagFest earlier this year. They kind of auditioned for me, but they knocked it out of the park. They knocked it out of the park rather, and they had probably like over 1,000 people watch this concert just rock out to them. And they're a special band. Like it's a Zelda metal band with a badass front lady. She can sing really well. They can play really hard. And they can also do some nice tender ballads as well.
Oh yeah, I've heard their Shadow and Steel album. It's actually really good, and I was amazed how like into I got into their album overall.
Yeah, so they had the Shadow and Steel album that came out in January. They've been doing some really great music videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we'll be debuting their next music video at power, wisdom, and courage.
That's really cool.
So the Abbey also has a projector and a screen that we'll be taking advantage of for this world premiere. So this song will be focusing on the Gerudo Valley. They've put some screenshots out. Matt, who's been my contact for the group, he'll be all dressed up like Ganondorf in the music video. The shots I've seen look really good. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be premiering it at the event. We're going to have that go on right before the concerts roll in. And while the Super Guitar Bros are another great act, we've had them in Orlando before. A couple years ago we did the Metroid 30th anniversary party.
Yeah.
And that was super fun. But they had a mix of video game songs and Metroid songs. But for this concert, they're going to play their Ocarina of Time album in its entirety, from start to finish. So
yeah, it should be really good.
Yeah, it just came out earlier this year on the same time as Shadow and Steel. Actually, a little bit afterwards. But it's a great album. Sam and Steve are like high-level acoustic musicians. Their guitarsmanship is like pretty much second to none. So I'm really excited about having those guys back. And then to open up the concert festivities, we've got DJ Joe, who's a DJ right out of Florida, not too far from Orlando.
Nice.
And he's got a massive YouTube following. He's got a ton of remixes for anime and video games, but he's got over 30 different ones for the Legend of Zelda franchise. Like, that's his jam. That's how he actually started getting into making music, was just making Zelda remixes, because that's his favorite game series.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
So he's got a ton of really good ones on his YouTube page that you can all check out. And he's going to do a whole concert of just his Zelda remixes to kick off the music portion of the show.
That is really cool. I'm really looking forward. Mainly, I'm looking forward to Master. I got to listen to her stuff recently a lot more. It's really good. I was into the entire Super Guitar Bros album. I thought that was actually really impressive in my account. And I just finished listening to a very long playlist of DJ Joe's stuff, and that was absolutely amazing. All different varieties of remixes in that one little collection. He really knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, he's super talented. And he's going to have his guitar for part of his concert as well, which I'm really excited about, because I don't think he's gotten a chance to do the guitar with any of our shows. I've booked him a few times over the years, but this will be his first time at one of our shows where he rocks that, so that's going to be cool. Plus, we'll have video game setups. We have a Super Smash Brothers tournament for the Wii U. We're going to have a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament, and we're going to have Legend of Zelda NES speedrun races. Now, the world record for the version we're doing is 28 minutes and 26 seconds.
Right.
And we're going to have a couple NES classics set up with the game on there where people can do their best to beat the game in a quick time. I actually posted the YouTube video of the world record up for people to check out. They're looking for like some tricks on how, I think it's like Black Attack 24 is his name. He's the world record holder. But there's some really cool stuff that he does in the game that I didn't know you could do. Like there's like this screen teleport trick, which I didn't know you could do about. And it's pretty nuts, because just the things he does, I didn't know you could do in the game, and I've had the game for like since I was 7 years old. One of the first video games I had was Legend of Zelda. So
nice. That was Super Mario Brothers for me. That was
it
was the one with the duck hunt as well. So we had the Zapper too.
Yeah, that was definitely the first. That's the first Nintendo game we had, because it came with the system. But like, I think that first year Legend of Zelda was definitely one of the early games we got.
Nice.
So that's the idea of going through and exploring. We didn't have Nintendo Power, so it was a lot of trial and error. Eventually, we got one of those like map magazines that show you where everything is. But like for a while, it's just wander around and figure out where everything is on our own, you know. So
it's sadly that's why I've never actually fully completed. I've gotten lost like before like the end, and I just got given up. Sadly, we talked about all the performances that are gonna be there. Are there any that you're really looking forward to? Any of the and this one? Is there any one specific you're looking forward to, or are you just looking forward to all of them in general?
I mean, I'm going to look forward to all of the general. Like, I curated the best lineup possible for this show. So, there's some other great acts out there that do have a lot of Zelda songs in their repertoire, but I strongly feel I picked the best 4 that could be on this show.
Yeah, that's really, that's really cool. And of course, I don't want to leave without asking about your favorite Zelda stuff. So, do you have a favorite Zelda soundtrack?
Man, that's so tough. There's so many good ones.
I know there is. There's a lot.
Like, I'm a big fan of Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, especially Telltale Heights.
Oh, Telltale Heights is one of my favorites.
I mean, I can name, like, Zelda songs that really resonate with me, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Link to the Past has a great soundtrack as well, especially the I want to say epilogue, but, like, the credits roll out.
Yeah, that's really good.
Like, when I was a kid, that just, like, moved me. That one's one of my favorite songs. I think those 2 are my favorite game soundtracks, though.
Yeah.
The thing about Legend of Zelda is, like, almost I mean, all the games have great music. It's hard to pick your favorite. It's like picking your favorite kid.
Yeah, that's like choosing your favorite game out of an entire franchise you adore. It's just I can't choose any of you. One specific, I just gotta choose all of you.
Yep.
And of course your favorite Zelda game. It sounds like you may have already kind of said it, but what is your favorite?
I mean, I'm gonna go with Link to the Past.
Yeah,
I mean, that's been like the one I played the most. I mean, I played all the early ones, like the first 5, I've played extensively many times over. But Link to the Past I've played more than any other.
Yeah.
It's just the level design, the dungeon design. You got a nice little simple story. You got some cool items. Like this is a game where you really started to expand on the inventory. You would have magic. You've had the light world and the dark world, and I just feel like that formula has been the best. And they've tried it in different ways, like Ocarina of Time. You have the past and the I guess you have Link as a kid, Link as an adult. So the world's different based on that. And then they did Link Between Worlds, which had their own take on the Light World and Dark World, which that's a fantastic game as well. I feel like Link Between Worlds got the Zelda franchise back on track after a couple misses in the franchise. But I would say Link to the Past did a big stream on it. Labor Day weekend did a big Labor Day Zelda marathon stream and beat that one. So that was super cool. And I think coming up we do weekly Twitch streams, and we're doing some more Zelda streams to hype up the show. And on the 21st of November, we'll be doing one for Ocarina of Time, since that'll be the actual 20th anniversary of that game. So really excited about that.
So, well, of course, I want to thank you for this interview, of course. Where can everybody find you, not even just for Ongaku Overdrive, but for your other events as well?
Well, Orlando, everything's centered around OngakuOverdrive.com. So ONGAKU.com. And you can also Google Power, Wisdom, and Courage. That will take you to our event page as well. So we do Orlando Overdrive in April, and around the fall time we do a video game themed show. Last year was Mega Man, this year was Legend of Zelda. It'll be up to you guys to decide what we do for next year. We'll put up a little poll after the Power, Wisdom, and Courage show to see what you guys want us to do next. Because there's a lot of great game franchises that have a lot of amazing music. And of course we have Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. So you can follow all those things at Ongaku Overdrive. It's all uniform. So we have a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. If this is your first time at the Power Wisdom, if it's your first time in Orlando, November is one of the nicest times of the year.
Yeah, it's when it actually gets legit cold.
It cools down a bit. It rains a lot less. You can actually go outside and not melt. So that's great.
It's a plus.
And for the Abbey, we got a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. We just announced the No Borders art competition. So the idea of that is local artists can get on stage, and then we have canvas, and then we have 2 colors to work with. And on the canvas, we're going to do some Legend of Zelda art. And they have like 30 or so minutes to get that done.
Right.
And that's going to be on stage in front of a live crowd, so that's going to be really interesting. The Abbey, which is the venue we're doing at, it's going to have Zelda-themed cocktails based on the 3 golden goddesses that made the Triforce. So you're going to have Din's Fire, Fiori's Wind, and Nairu's Love, all as different drinks. You can find that out. You can find out what goes into those drinks on the Ongaku Overdrive Power, Wisdom, and Courage page. So you got a whiskey drink, you got a vodka drink, and you have a rum drink. So that's all great.
Wasn't that Chumbawamba song? I just feel like you just said the Sorry.
I'm not sure. I don't understand that reference, but we got a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. We're gonna have a bunch of different game setups. We're gonna have a bunch of different vendors. Cybertron's hooking us up with some stuff to make Legend of Zelda 4 Swords happen on the GameCube. So we'll have some multiplayer Zelda, not just some solo stuff, and of course we got things like Smash and Mario Kart that people can enjoy with their friends as well.
Yeah. So once again, thank you very much, man.
Yes.
And of course, I will be covering the event on that Saturday on the 17th. Well, you stay tuned to Zelda Dungeon, stay tuned to my personal channel, Super Reaction Bros, as I'll be having all the video interviews come from here. But of course, we'll be posting all on the official Zelda Dungeon page. So until next time, folks, I am Kristen, and I thank you very much for joining me with this interview with Mr. Kentmore.
And may the way of the hero lead you to the Triforce.
Hell yeah. So see you guys later.